Hi, I'm Peter Jensen. I'm the Director of Sales for the Jones Company of Tennessee. Today I'm partnered with Joe Hollingsworth, our Director of Construction. Now Joe, our customers are telling us that they want to know more about behind the walls. And what I mean by that is they understand and see our finished product and how beautiful it is and the ability of your construction team to put it together just right for them. But what they don't understand is all of the different factors behind the house that makes a Jones home smarter than any others. So today, would you mind kind of explaining where we are right now and then what we can do going forward?
We're currently in a recently finished home that we'll be presenting to our customers first part of next week, and hopefully be moving them in right after that, shortly after.
Now, Joe, when we talk about behind the walls, we're going to go back and take a look at everything from foundations to the studs to the construction applications. Tell me what we're going to see right here.
Currently, we're beginning our journey. We're going to go from right here behind this wall and go through a step-by-step trip of where we are and how we build our homes.
Well, Joe, I look forward to seeing behind the sheetrock. Let's go.
Let's go.
Now, Joe, when we were in that finished home just a few minutes ago, we were looking at the cabinets in the kitchen, and it reminded me of a good friend of mine. When Becky moved into her new home, she just bought this house, moved in, we were there helping her, my wife and I, and we were helping her unload the dishes. She had all of her china and her big pots and pans and everything else, and we're putting them in the cabinets in her kitchen. And as we stepped away for just a second, all of a sudden that cabinet that was hanging on the wall that we just loaded up with all of her china slid and fell right off the wall. And when the cabinet came down, it crashed on the ground, broke her dishes to pieces. Screws were sticking out of the back of the cabinet, and they just pulled right out of the sheetrock. Is that going to happen with a Jones homeowner?
No, it won't. The one thing that we do to give security to the buyer in our homes is that we solid block all our cabinets with blocking behind the drywall prior to the install at the tops and the bottoms, so that that cabinet is securely fastened to the walls and gives the customer the peace of mind that that will not be happening to them.
Now, Joe, how does that work? Because when the cabinet guy comes to install the cabinets, he's just screwing away because he doesn't know where the studs are or anything else. So what is it that he's screwing into when he's putting these in our houses?
Well, hopefully he's screwing into a stud in most home applications, but with ours being solid blocking, there is it takes the guesswork out of it. He will hit solid wood with his screws.
Now, Joe, in my friend's house, she had a brand new home. Why didn't that builder do it in her house?
I don't know why, because it's such a simple step to give that customer peace of mind that that won't happen to their home.
So other builders in the market don't always do this?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Wow, Joe. Let's go find something else in this house that you can point out to me. Thank you. Now, Joe, as I'm standing in this family room of this home, I'm looking into the kitchen, and one thing that amazes me about Jones is they really do live larger spaces. And what I mean by that is it seems like the rooms flow together and there's nothing obstructing their way. I go out and walk some of our competitors' homes, and I see a lot of headers and a lot of drywall columns and a lot of just things that seem to kind of break up the rooms. But the nice thing about ours is they just seem to really flow from one spot to the other. It looks like we have almost 40 feet from this window here all the way back to the kitchen wall, and there's nothing in between us. How does Jones do that?
What we do is each and every one of our plans are plan-specific, engineered per plan, and what this does for us, it gives us the ability by doing this type of engineering and using engineered roof trusses to open up these spaces and to get these clear spans to open up these rooms and give these large areas for living.
Now, so Joe, in a lot of these other builders' houses, they have a ceiling that's wide open in a great room, but when they flow into the kitchen, there's always a header or something there kind of separating that spot. So I'm looking up here and I'm seeing these trusses that are helping us carry that load. Is that what it's doing? Is that why you don't have a header here?
That's exactly why it's that way, because the trusses are engineered to clear span the entire length without the beams and the headers in the walls.
Now, Joe, when you're talking about the trusses, you're talking about these 2x4s with these metal plates on and everything else. Is that the roof trusses you're talking about?
That is the roof trusses, yes.
And so that design is what's allowing Jones to open these rooms up wide open for our customers.
Correct.
Well, Joe, thank you. Let's continue. Let's go find another thing in this home to look at. Now, Joe, as we're walking through this home today, I'm noticing something that I don't usually see in a lot of builders' homes. I'm seeing everywhere I look, I'm seeing OSB or plywood on the exterior of the home. When I've been walking our competitors, I see a lot of cardboard looking things or styrofoam looking things on the walls. I don't see a lot of this solid wood. Why does Jones do this?
The purpose of this is the sturdiness of this wall versus the styrofoam with cross bracing and stuff that other builders will do. This is physically a 7/16 of solid wood right here, along 16-inch centers to strengthen the wall and to give us more stability within our houses.
So Joe, the fact that these studs are so close together, where I've seen other homes, like 2 foot, 2.5 feet, I mean, I see a much wider spectrum on the outside walls. So you've got 16-inch on center outside walls, and you've got OSB on the outside. That makes the home smarter?
The reason we're using OSB is the strength of the product, the sturdiness. It gives us a more quality home, it gives us a stouter house, and it's just a better performer than the OSB, or excuse me, the R board and the thermoply boards that you might use.
That's great. And also the amazing thing is I don't hear a lot of noise from the outside, even though this home's not insulated. Does that OSB kind of help absorb some of that sound?
It definitely deadens it. It definitely deadens the sound, more so than styrofoam or some of your other sheathings that other builders use.
So this is a lot better than those products called Thermoply or R-Shield or anything like that I see in other builders. Absolutely. Now, how do you protect this on the outside of the home? What do you use to protect that OSB?
All our homes are wrapped in Tyvek or a similar product, a vapor barrier around the outside to seal all the penetrations and anything that might be allowing air to get through the home.
Wow, Joe, I appreciate it. What a great product. One of the most important things I wanted to show you behind the walls with us today is the way that we seal everything up thoroughly. One of the things that we do at the very end of our homes is we take and we guarantee that our air leakage from our ductwork is at a minimum level of about 3%. Our competitors, when we've tested their homes, running anywhere between 20 and 40% of the air conditioning leaks out into spaces throughout the house that's not important to them. The attic, the crawl spaces, or in between the walls. So this is a picture of a return air. And here at the return air, a lot of builders will just put sheetrock right over top of the studs and never think about how there's air gaps between that. And you can get some whistling sounds or everything else from that areas. So our guys come in and actually seal this up with metal work first, screw and nail that all off, and then they come back and wrap everything with mastic to where we make sure that it's sealed up completely tight to where there's no air loss or air leakage coming from the wall cavities, the crawl spaces, or the attics. All the way down even into the ductwork. It's all sealed up completely. And I'll show you a little more of that as we go through today. We back this up and verify every single home that we have through a system called a duct blaster test. And we're going to show you more about that as we go along today. The recessed can lights are just one more thing that we look at in our Live Smart package, is we're looking at every single component in the house and making sure they're sealed up tightly to where we can perform at a very high level and save our customers a lot of energy in their new home. Why don't we go through the house and see what else we can find in here that separates us from our competitors. Now, Joe, with part of our Live Smart program that we offer to our customers, we talk a lot about energy savings and how we can save up to 42% compared to a 10-year-old home. And that's amazing. I mean, that's a lot of energy savings and a lot of money back in our homeowners' pockets. So how can we back that up, and how do we prove to our customers that we're giving them that money and saving them those things in their home? One thing I'm looking at here is some insulation. And tell me a little bit about this insulation and why this is such a critical component of this house.
Well, this insulation, we take a lot of pain and effort in installing it properly by lapping over the paper barrier. A lot of people will just tuck this in, but we take a lot of time and space staple it and seal this up all the way down. We seal up all the joints in the wood, top, bottom plates, and try to fill all the voids that we might see and all the potential air infiltration areas that we have.
Well, Joe, this looks great. I can tell the guys took a lot of time and effort putting this together for you, and it really looks clean. It's a great looking product, and it goes well with our Live Smart program. Let's take a look through the rest of the house and kind of point out some of these other areas. We were talking about the penetrations and how important it is to seal it up. You can really see it here, where the electrical wires are coming down to the breaker panel. You'll see where the wires are coming through the top plate. If this isn't properly sealed, you're going to get a lot of air infiltration from the attic space, which it can get up to 180 degrees in the summertime here, coming down into your wall and then into your home. So that spray foam insulation is an absolute must in our homes. And you'll see it down here at the crawl space as well, making sure that it's sealed up tightly to where you're not exchanging air from the unconditioned spaces in your home. It's all part of our Live Smart program. Now, Joe, one thing I hear a lot about is Energy Star. and how Energy Star rates certain things. Now, it's my understanding that Jones build their houses with an Energy Star rating on their windows. Tell me a little bit about that, please.
These are all Energy Star windows. They are low E glass. The low E being an additional protective film in the glass that protects you from the UV rays coming in your windows, on your carpet, your upholstery, your couch, your chairs. All our windows are solid vinyl. Most are a single hung window that tilts in for easy maintenance. You got me.
Now, Joe, when you're talking about the low E glass, tell me a little bit about that. Now, the way I understand low E is what it does is when the summer is in the top of the, when the sun is in the top of the sky during the summer, it's reflecting the heat back out of the house and away, so it doesn't come into the home.
Correct.
But in the wintertime, if you have a cat or something like that, they always like to sit in the sun and kind of bake. Does that low E coating allow the sun to come in the wintertime to give you some heat?
It does. It does. It reverses what it does. In the summertime, it reflects heat out. In the wintertime, it does allow it to come in. The heat is not near as intense in the summertime as it would be with a regular double pane glass.
Now, a lot of our customers come here from the Texas market, Arizona markets, California markets, where they're used to having low E glass as a standard for years. Is this kind of a new product? I mean, there's a lot of builders doing this in Middle Tennessee?
It's been around for years, but very few people are doing it. It is something that we do with all our homes. Every home has this.
So this really helps them on their energy savings, and part of the Live Smart package comes free?
Absolutely, no charge. This is just a standard with our homes.
Well, that's great. And I also see that they've done a good job with the spray foam around it. Just like we talked about the penetrations, they've done a really good job on this window as well. It's a great looking window, Joe. Good job. Let's go see what else we can find in the house. Thanks again for joining us as we're working our way through our home. Right now I'm standing behind a hall bathroom. And this is one area that a lot of builders forget about. And what happens is the plumbers are typically one of your first trades that come into your home once you start putting your mechanical trades into the home. And in this situation, when they install a fiberglass tub unit, it's virtually impossible to reach behind it and properly install the insulation. And what happens a lot of times is that builders don't even do that. You'll stand in your hall tub and it's, freezing degrees out, or 32 degrees outside, absolutely freezing. You put your hand against that tub and it feels cold because you can feel that cold air rushing into your home, or you can feel a draft coming across the floor. Well, what we do here at Jones is we want to make sure that doesn't happen. And so our builders are trained and taught to schedule things in the correct order. Our insulation company actually makes a special trip out here before the plumbers install this tub, specifically to insulate behind here to where you can get the exact same quality of job of an installation like we saw in the other part of the house today. So that occurs, seals everything up, and they even put a water vapor barrier behind these areas because we know it's a wet area there in the bathroom. So we do everything we can to make sure that this is properly sealed and doesn't provide a cold spot for you in your home in the middle of the winter months. Now, Joe, we've taken this stuff a step beyond the walls. We're actually all the way out here at a foundation right now. And I believe this is a crawl space foundation, but it looks a little different than a typical one I'm used to seeing. A lot of times I drive up on a job site, I see, concrete blocks kind of stacked together, creating this foundation. This looks a lot different than that. Tell me a little bit about this foundation.
Well, one of the huge advantages at Jones Company that we offer are poured wall foundations on a large majority of our homes that we build. Being a reinforced steel, 6 inches thick wall, depending on the amount of backfill that goes against it, the wall thickness can vary from 6 to 10 inches on basements. Reinforced steel, epoxied into the concrete. It's a 4,000 PSI mix in the wall, 3,000 mix in the footing itself, and it's just a far superior product than your standard concrete block that the large majority of all home builders use.
Now, Joe, what's the number one reason why Jones takes, because this is a lot more expensive to build, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So why does Jones do this? Why does Jones do poured wall foundations versus block?
Well, part of the reason we do it is the culture of the Jones Company to try to provide a better product, a less maintenance, a better structural product than a lot of current builders do. And it's just our culture to do this, and we have the opportunity to do it, and so therefore we offer it to our consumers.
Now, one thing I always am really proud about Jones is we offer a 10-year structural warranty on our houses. So with that structural warranty, does this play a factor in that? Is that part of the decision is why you've chosen to do this?
It is a far superior product with a lot less headaches as far as potential structural failures because of the reinforcement in the steel and that you normally get you can get some settling issues that are more prevalent with concrete block.
Okay. Now, the 10-year warranty that Jones offers, is that sold to another company? Because I understand a lot of competitors who go out there and they'll sell it to different builders or different companies to kind of do an insurance on their 10-year warranty. But I think Jones is different. Tell us a little bit about Jones's warranty program.
We have a 1-year warranty on workmanship and product and 10 years on the structure. It is an in-house warranty. It is done by us, by our employees. We have our own fully staffed warranty department and are able to take care of any and all issues.
So with the 10-year structural warranty, this is a part of the reason why you want to step up and do this foundation instead of the block to minimize your exposure and your risks?
Absolutely, because this is a continuous pour with no seams, there's no breaks, there's nothing. It's just a far superior product.
Okay, now it looks like there's a panel been removed right now because surely you're not going to be pouring this huge area full of concrete. So why is this panel removed currently?
The panel was removed just for us to show y'all the beauty and the significant integrity of these poured walls and how the advantages are.
And now I see a pump truck just rolled up here to be able to pour the concrete into this foundation. And when they get ready to start pumping the concrete in here, does this occur all at once? Will this thing get completely filled full of concrete at one time?
It will be a continuous, seamless pour when it starts, yes.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing it pour. Let's step back and let them get to work.
Okay.
Now, Joe, one of the prides of Jones Company, that I understand, is low maintenance exteriors. And I understand that customers don't have to worry about wood rotting or decaying on their homes. I'm standing here looking at a column. It looks like a standard wood column. What's different about this?
This is a solid PVC column that we currently use. It is one of our many different styles of columns that we use. The beauty of PVC, unlike wood, it is maintenance free as far as a rotting deterioration goes. All you have to do is maintain it with paint.
So Joe, you know, at my house, my columns are made out of wood and they're starting to peel and buckle. I'm starting to get ripples in them and I'm starting to see a lot of damage on it. This column wouldn't have those types of things occur?
It will not. Where a wood column will actually become a sponge, soak up moisture where it gets cracks and crevices in it, and then the paint blisters and peels off. This being a solid product, it does not have that potential.
So you're not going to have to replace it 5 years down the road once you move into the house?
Absolutely not.
Well, that's great. Now, there's another feature right behind us. It looks a lot different on our homes than some of our competitors. The shutters that we have, they feel real heavy to me. They look heavy. They look great with a nice natural hinge on them. Tell me a little bit about this. It looks a lot different than the vinyl shutters I see in some other people's houses.
This shutter is also made out of the same material as our columns. It's a PVC that we have made. This one, we use multiple varieties of these. This is more of a batten strip type shutter, and the only thing we have to do here, as with the columns, is maintain it with paint.
Now, are these custom made just strictly for Jones?
Yes, absolutely. We do have them made.
Okay, so it's a solid product, a lot heavier look, and it holds up a lot better for your customers.
Absolutely.
Well, that's great. Now, what else do we have in our exterior of our homes that's really low maintenance for our customers?
Our cornice, our overhangs are all vinyl and metal, aluminum, as if our continuous seamless gutters that we use also.
So there is no wood on the house that's going to be deteriorated or rot over a period of time for the customers?
This is true. We do not use any wood products on the exterior of our homes.
So all of our exteriors are either vinyl, aluminum, or PVC. What a great feature. We're standing in a finished master closet right now in one of our model homes. And one of our customers always talk about this feature in our homes, and it's these simple motion sensors. In our master closet, our secondary bedrooms, our utility rooms, and a few other locations in our home, we install motion sensor activated light switches. What I mean by this is when you're coming in the house and you're carrying groceries in from the garage, when you walk in, you don't have to fumble around trying to find the light switch. It comes on automatically for you, and the nicest feature is it turns off automatically for you as well. So I don't know about you, but I'm really bad in my house, as is my wife and children, about walking out of a room forgetting to turn the lights off. So this will help you save energy, which lowers your electric bills every single month, and just part of one of the features that we include in our home standard in our Live Smart package. Look forward to showing you some more. Come on, let's go see what we can find behind the walls in other rooms.